Hey kids, watch out, I have a water balloon. But what does this have to do with obedience? Let's go find out. How can I show obedience to God? Imagine that this balloon, the rubber on it, represents the good rules and the good structures that come from parents, teachers, law enforcement, and church. Also imagine that this inside represents a person's character, how the person acts on their own, even when no one's around. Woo, that was a mess. So when you remove the structure that's around that water, that was kind of like what our character was supposed to be like, well, it just went crazy because there was nothing to hold it together. That's like a person who, when they're supposed to like obey their parents and clean their room, they may clean it while the parents are watching, but when they're gone, they quit. So this is also like a kid who, when he's at his house, he only watches the movies that his parents would like and they approve of. The ones that maybe have good words and not cuss words. Well, then he goes to his friend's house and his parents aren't there. And maybe his friend's parents are okay with watching those other things, so he watches the ones that aren't so great. So that's kind of like that, where this person with that water inside, they don't have the structure necessary to help them do what's right. And when that structure is taken away, they'll do what's wrong. Well, we have a second one here. And the second one, if I'm to take away the balloon, watch what happens. This one, did the water splurt out everywhere? No, this one, the structure stays the same. This is like a person who is a child of God and asks God to help him do what's right. So maybe it's like if you watch something at your family's house and you know it's a good movie, and then you go to your friend's house and they have a movie that's not so good, you stand up and say, my parents wouldn't like that. I'm gonna obey them and not watch that if that's okay with you. And that's something that you can stand up and do what's right even when it's hard. And that's kind of like this. Instead of making that mistake, you stood firm in that. Or maybe your parents, they leave, they ask you to clean your room, and as soon as they leave, you stop. Well, no, this one is like someone who continues to clean the room even when someone is not watching them. So in the Bible, it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So when we obey God, it should ultimately come from loving God, from trusting Him, and having a good relationship with Jesus. Not because we're afraid of what our parents or authorities say. Obedience is one natural result of our relationship with God. In John 14:15, it says, Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. So as a child of God, your love for God should be evident in your life. You should be allowing God to teach you through His commandments and to develop strong personal character as you obey His word. Then no matter where you go to, you will still be shining Jesus' love and light. So, I have a challenge for you. Are you going to choose to be like this water, this person who, when the structure and when the people around him that tell him what to do are gone, when he just like disobeys them? Are you going to be like this with bad character, or are you going to do what's right even when no one's watching? So my challenge is that this week, maybe you can think of something that normally you do that you know is not right and your parents or your authorities don't like. Think of that one thing, and this week, choose to do what's right even when it's hard and even when you don't feel like it, because that is honoring and obeying God. So if you're not God's child, you can't really love Him or keep His commandments, but God wants you to be His child. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go over to God's gift section and watch a video there. See you guys later. Thank you.